Welcome to War Games. We will get you ready for your next sales opportunity. Are you looking to win the sales battle? You have joined the right team. Here on the War Games Group, we take the strategies and mindsets from the most successful salespeople and share it with you. With our help, you won't have to fail your way to the top. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that crossed before you. Prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for War Games to begin.
Shall we play a game?
Happy War Games Wednesday, everybody. Joe Ingram, your host. I am thrilled. I have some VIPs that'll be coming up on the screen with me. We'll throw Debbie up here, Tyler. I'm going to mute you just because, you're going to be working business. Yes. So we got that one. Guys, today, let's talk about some digital marketing. Let's talk about some lead generation. Let's talk about you as a business owner. How do you get more people to know who you are and to come to you so that everybody will actually reach out to you? And I brought an expert on that I was lucky enough to trip through in the sales talk of TikTok. And as I was watching videos going, ooh, I agree. Oh, I agree. Ooh, I like that. I agree. And you know me, I'm a great cyber stalker on anything social media. And I typically can get a hold of just about anybody, but I was able to get Crystal just by putting comments and then saying, go check the DM, go do this. And so she was kind enough to do that. But she has a marketing media company called Moxie Entrepreneur. She's a speaker all over the world. Okay. She is adored by everybody because she's going to help you increase your business. She's going to help you to increase who you are as an individual, as a company, and she's going to get you some exquisite information that you can take and implement into your business so that you can push yourself to that next level that we all keep trying to get to. And so she's going to show us how to make it a lot easier than what we keep doing. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, Crystal, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Joe. I'm
going to flip this over and say, Crystal, switch with me. And that way you get the big screen that's coming up. So this is her second time using StreamYard, so we will be kind to her as it goes through.
And I will definitely readjust some things when I use it again because the lighting, it's just not good. But I'm going to work through it. So so when I met with Joe or we connected via email, we talked about, or he had asked me what I wanted to talk about. And one of the most important things is lead gen. And I think that you all would agree, because without connecting with your prospect and really having a good conversation with them, you can't attract, well, marketing is more attracting, but you can't, without that conversation, you don't know if you're going to be a good fit, right? So one of the things that I like to teach is higher ticket. So I had a program through Moxie Entrepreneur, which I started in 2009, right after I was selling commercial real estate in 2008. And I actually became interested in what was going on online at a bloggers meeting at a Panera. So I was just networking and didn't even know what a blog was. And I was a little embarrassed because after about 30 minutes of people walking around talking about blogging, I finally said, what is a blog? And before I knew it, I had initiated getting me a blog up, and I was going to use it to attract more investors. But I knew really nothing. I just kind of jumped in. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to talk about. But long story short, I decided to teach sales. But as it evolved, I started teaching online business because I saw a huge need for it. So I was learning and then teaching it as I was learning. And I really just immersed myself in all aspects of it. In fact, I remember spending 4 hours putting a little lead box on my Facebook page. That was a thing back then, that you could put a little lead box, and I couldn't figure it out. And at the time, I didn't even know what a virtual assistant was. I didn't know who to ask to help me, but YouTube was my friend. So I got on YouTube one night and I just became very stubborn, and I was going to figure it out, and it worked. So I connected it to Aweber, which, by the way, I've used for years, Aweber. I know that there are a lot of other lead gen or auto responder services out there, but I've just always used Aweber. I knew just from being in sales, I sold commercial real estate, and before that I worked for a publishing company, and then worked also for a TV station and worked with small businesses. And I always knew that staying in touch with your prospects and building that know, like, and trust is one of the most important things. So I saw this opportunity to automate this, and I was really excited. So I set that up, started building a list. And what I decided to do is have an anchor event, which I believe was the key to building my list fast. And I didn't exactly know what I was going to teach them. My thought was, okay, they need to know, or they want to know more about sales, how to sell more, how to sell their products and programs online. So I was thinking financial advisors. I knew a lot of financial advisors. So I didn't exactly even know who my ideal client was. So I started having an anchor event. And at the time, we didn't have Zoom. Maybe Zoom was around and I just wasn't aware of it. But what I used was a bridge line, which was a phone number. And I would just tell people, show up at this time, get on the phone. Remember the old fashioned telephone. And I would just talk. I talked about money. And so in talking about money and talking about—
They call that Clubhouse today.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah.
And in having those little chats that people would show up to, and I think the first one, I only had like 2 people on the line, and I didn't know who they were, but I just kept it up. And before I knew it, I started growing a list. And then I thought, well, why aren't I making money? Well, I need to make offers. So then came the day that I decided I got to make an offer. And what is this offer going to be? And there's a strategy to it. And there is a way that people need, we as humans, we need an offer to be a certain way, right? We obviously need it to be in terms of email, which is what I was using, email marketing. It needs to be written in a certain way. It needs to be stated in a certain way. But the most important thing here is you've got to have a lead magnet, okay? And I say, even though so many people, experts out there, are saying, what's working now, it's not this, it's this, it's still the same. It's an anchor event. It's an event, whether you are using TikTok and you want to do a live, I think you have to have 1,000 people or 1,000 followers to do that.
So define anchor event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So an anchor event is something that you plan on doing weekly, or it could be daily. That's a lot. But I will say that I did a daily live stream, which is a perfect example of an anchor event. So something that you do weekly or daily, set the schedule, and your audience will soon realize that this is what you do. You showing up consistently will actually prove your know, like, and trust. And it'll just be a natural thing for them to start trusting you by you showing up. And before you know it, they will start to listen to you, those that want and need your products or services. And so if you don't have a product or service yet, have those conversations. And here's what I'm going to say. First, if you are not sure how or what to offer on that lead magnet, and lead magnet is just a page, it's literally just a page. And when I started, it was just like I mentioned that I struggled trying to figure out where to put that. And I put it on my Facebook page initially. They didn't have lead pages. So leadpages.net is a great one to use. Lead pages is just a one page. Doesn't have to be a website. I say if you are going to put money and time into a website, you're probably wasting your time if you're just starting out. The most important thing you can do is have an anchor event, show up consistently, talk, and a podcast, by the way, can be that. Okay, a podcast, but live is great because you can answer questions when people are asking, which, by the way, I should probably pay attention in case there is a.
No, I'll interrupt you as it goes through.
All right.
So you're good. We just want you flowing.
Yeah. So lead magnet. So leadpages.net is a great one. I still use it. I've used Kajabi. I've used a few others, but I'm just going to say right now, the easiest thing or one of the best things you can do is sign up for leadpages.net. I think it's $40 a month or something. And you can create, as far as I remember, as many lead pages as you would like. And have so doing a live stream as an anchor event, doing a podcast as an anchor event, or even a TikTok live is great. However, what's even better is to always have a call to action and have that call to action be to send them to this lead magnet. And I'm going to say, don't send them to something that's hard to remember, but come up with buy a domain. Like, for instance, my page that I invite people to, even on my podcasts or live streams, you'll hear me say, coachmecrystal.com. I tend to say that because I want them to go and get on get on my calendar and have a conversation with me. That is a way that you can collect leads, but also a lead magnet and sending them to a page that gives them something for free.
And that's just like a lead form. They fill out their name, their email, their phone number, like a landing page, right?
Yep. Yeah. And so they go to that. And so you got to offer them something, whether it be something for free or just invite them to learn more from you, and have just, I say, if you can send them about 7, because I get asked this a lot. So I'm going to tell you 7 emails in the first 10 days. If you can set that up to be automated. And then after that, like once or even twice a week. Grant Cardone is one that sends a lot. Have you ever noticed that? If you're on, he sends a lot. It's almost overwhelming. And
that's intentional. Grant does it intentionally because he wants unsubscribers. He wants you to unsubscribe because he believes his people understand what it is and enjoy hearing from him all the time.
Yes. So I'm not going to say do that necessarily, but he's earned the right to do that too, right? He's got his systems down. He knows what he's doing. But if you keeping in touch with them is important. So that's my point. Keeping in touch, but you don't have to bombard them. 2 times a week is enough, but give them something that is. So over the years, what I've noticed is, we played with different words in the subject line to get open rates because email has lost its power. Okay. And text is more powerful. It's really expensive though. But email is still working. And the closer they get to you, the more willing they are to get on the phone with you. And the more they've listened to you, the more likely they're going to buy from you. And what I have found out right away, which kind of blew my mind, it shouldn't have though, and was that once when I would have a consultation with them, I was having an 80% or higher conversion rate of a $6,000 product. And
that's fantastic.
Sounds surprising, but it's because of the anchor events that I was having. So they had already made up their mind. They had already made their decision. So it's a labor of love, but show up, give content, and get used to it. And you will start attracting the people that you will do business with. So what I have taught is the sales conversation or the consultation conversation to increase the conversions. I don't know if I want to get into that necessarily. Hold on here. Looking to see what else I said that I was going to talk about. Does anyone have any questions about the lead magnet or the lead gen page?
So if I'm understanding correctly, right? So you have your lead gen page from your leadpages.net, but you're building out whatever offer it is. Now, are you consistently, so is your anchor event going to be something different every time you're doing it? Or is it all about the same concern?
Coming up with themes is a great idea, but you actually want it to be repetitive, more repetitive than not. And so you don't want to be too all over the place with your content, but spice it up, come up with themes, but have it be consistent, your message consistent, and it's okay to be repetitive. It might actually feel like, Jesus, all I do is repeat myself, but to them, they need it. Because, in TV advertising, we kind of just knew that 27 times before somebody will buy from you. 27 30-second commercials, or 27 times they need to hear a message. So that is part of psychology that the TV advertising industry knows. And so just think that way as well. Don't feel like, gosh, I'm repeating myself a little too much. So spicing it up a bit, but not feeling like, you need to go off topic to be interesting. Could be a real big mistake. So if you believe in and love what your content or whatever it is that you sell, you shouldn't have a problem with this. Did I answer your question, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to interject a little bit here. So, and again, because some of us, like my creative mind, as I get going, I'm like, it's got to be out there. I got to make something that's different than what I'm doing. And I always have to reel myself back in. And what you said, which was so great, was it's going to feel repetitive. Okay. And then the other side of my, neurodivergent self says, if they can anticipate what the next thing I'm going to say is, that helps with the like. That helps with them liking me and beginning to trust me, because I'm showing that. And it's what Tom had put up on the screen too, was he put up, hey, it's about consistency. Yes. That's the thing that we all look at and go, oh my goodness, that's just, it's going to blow it away.
Yes. I think that there's this notion, and it's true, that the brain does like novelty, something that's different, right? Well, I say that's fine, but be different in your branding, be different in your message, but not the core, not the root of what you're saying. So don't be so different that you're all over the place and no one can really connect with what you're saying, because those that are connecting and needing what you're saying, they need to hear you say it several times.
No,
because
that's perfect.
Because even though we like novelty, we also like something that is familiar and consistent, because there's that know, like, and trust that will get them to shell out the $6,000.
Right. Absolutely. And again, how many times do we take a different way home when we're driving home from places? Mm-hmm. Right. We don't. We take the same way all the time. Right. Yes. Because familiarity sticks in there. And again, if I know the next thing you're going to say is this and you say it, then I'm actually getting the endorphin hit for saying, I know what you were going to say. And I'm like, ooh, I like Crystal more because she just said what I was expecting her to say. So I'm smart because I picked that up. So now there's a know, like, and trust. So one of the things you said, I just want to clarify, because all the people that are new in business are going, dang, she just rattled off a lot. And she did. Okay. When you look at that, the anchor event she's talking about. So for myself, War Games is an anchor event. I get from people all the time going, dude, how do you keep doing it? You're going on 2 years, and I think maybe twice you weren't there. You actually ran a different episode that you taped off air and had it play, okay? Because I know people need to know that this is where they can find me on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. And so when you do that, they go, oh, I get it. But as you go, now that I know where to find Joe at that point in time, right? So like the whole first year, everything was free. It was like, just come in and look at it. Come in, let's go and see what's going on. And so now we get view counts that go crazy on YouTube after the show, because again, this is Wednesday in the middle of the day. So I know that there's not a heck of a lot of people, but mostly entrepreneurs can jump out and go, I can join. That comes in. Debbie does her show a couple hours after mine. So her show comes up and she gets the view count. She gets the people that are in there because they're recognizing her. But the anchor event is where they're building that like situation. So I will tell you, I already liked Crystal because of the 100 TikTok videos I watched.
It was 100?
I think I went through almost every single one you have up on your TikTok.
I did a challenge, and I have to gamify my life. That's just because here's the thing about me that I think a lot of creative people tend to suffer from, and that is we want to be creative, which we like to do something different. And I have always, since childhood, suffered from I get bored, right? And I want to go into creation mode. And so I got to make it fun. And so I have to gamify what I feel like is that consistency, which is one of the most important things. Consistency is one of the most important things. And in order for me to stay consistent, I have to gamify it and do something fun. So I have to challenge. I do a lot of challenges, just self challenges. I have a little group of gals that I meet with on Boxer, I think. And we do fun little challenges with each other to hold each other accountable. And that is really important. If you can do that with a group of people, it'll help. But anyway, getting back to why I mentioned it at all is that I think I challenged myself to do 2 a day or 3 a day, the TikToks, to get it going. Because another thing that we can do is feel like it's not doing anything. I'm not doing anything, right? And what is that? There was a really good book that I read, and now I am questioning why I mentioned it because I can't remember the title, but it has a really,
it'll come to you.
Yeah. It's a really good theme. And in this book, it talks about this particular flower, water lily, I think it is. And you've probably heard it before, where the water lily actually will cover the pond. I hope I'm saying this right. Will cover the pond in the last 2 days of like 30 days of growth or something. But the first 28 days, it looks like it's doing nothing. And so that's a really good analogy of what it takes. And when I say I get bored, I get real bored with not seeing results, right? And that comes also from being in sales for years and having a sales manager, breathing on my neck. So gotta have results. And so, but that consistency and gamifying it, doing 2 a day, 3 a day for 30 days, what actually will happen is your brain will actually want to do it beyond that. And you challenge yourself to be creative with the content. But yeah, I didn't know there was 100. I think you're just saying 100, but yeah,
I may be exaggerating based on my personality type. It is quite possible.
Fast. It added up fast when I decided to do that. And also, it doesn't have to be like the most brilliant content, but really good like nuggets of insight is what I feel like works. And sometimes it's just like the short 15-second reels. Anyway, I just went into TikTok mode.
Right. But again, right now, I'm part of a different mastermind group with a friend of mine, and he says TikTok is where everybody's headed because the other ones keep stifling your reach.
Yeah. So, I feel like it's a little freer with what I'm hearing in terms of content, like less censored. And I like that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. My opinions get me banned everywhere, so it's what's there. But understand.
I think actually, Joe, that's why you like me, because we think alike.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. And when they throw it up there, I'm like, yes, let me go through. I need to click more and go through because I'm intentional, guys. I understand algorithms. I understand what they do. So for Crystal, I could pop up on her radar just because it's going to show the last 10 videos she had Joe liked. Okay, but it'll all happen in the one session because I'm tricking the algorithm to show me more of her on the FYP. So if I'm not friends with somebody, I can't click on TikTok. I do this on Instagram and I'll do it on other things to say, wow, I had an iPad. So on my iPad, I had a whole different feed on Facebook than I did on my phone. And they were both the same account. Mm-hmm. Both of them were me, but when my iPad was running, it showed me all different people than what my phone did because of what the data was going back and forth in that device.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so to me, I'm like, I got to trick it. I got to see more. So when I find people that are speaking sales and speaking in a way that I can agree or it challenges me in my thinking, then I go through and I like 10 of their videos right away. And so the algorithm goes, ooh, Joe likes Crystal. If I show Joe more Crystal, he'll stay on the app longer. Okay. And then because you put out 3 videos a day and started doing it, there's content for me to now get the know, like, trust factor faster. So the videos did the work for you, even if they were 6 months old. And so that's why, if you look, like you said earlier, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it, by the time you get to the consult, they have already decided, I know, like, and trust you. Now the fact that we had a conversation makes you so much more real than just the video.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can close me on a $6,000 ticket because you've given me enough know, like, trust of $6,000, and it's an easy sale at that point. And so to me, I just love that that's where you're going. And to me, thinking, I'm going, okay, the anchor event is where it's all going to start. So now I have to go develop a second anchor event, right, that isn't as locked down as this one, and then go through and say, okay, fine. Because I'm like, okay, so I need to do TikTok lives at a certain time every day so people can go find me and go through. I prefer using humor into just about everything that I do. And so that's my version of selling. I'm like, if I can get you to laugh, I know that, I broke down the ego enough for you to hear me when it comes to any of the benefits and stuff that go in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I like that. And I did sign up on one of your accelerators that was there. So I know it was AWeber because it popped up and I was like, oh, AWeber, I use this in this business.
I actually saw that when I put your name in the subject line in my emails to find you, to get the link. I did notice that you signed up for that. Yeah, that's actually a very new lead magnet that we had put up, well, within the last couple of months anyway. And what I decided to do at the last minute, and my poor virtual assistant, she goes, you didn't tell me that. I'm like, oops. That's another thing I do when I'm creative. Like, I forget to tell the team what I'm doing. But I used to sell a program called the Rapid Cash Infusion. And so I decided to give it for free. So that is now, I used to sell it to for 97. So I've sold it for $9.97. And then what I would do is every quarter I would sell it for $97. So 90% off. And people would take advantage of that, hear the content, and then want to work one-on-one with me. That was the objective and the reason I would do it. And so now I'm just giving it away for free because the program, I think it's like 5 hours. I may have condensed it a little bit, but about 5 hours of things that you can do to get things going, and basically little cash infusions in your life and business. And that in itself, when they actually take the information, use it, see that it works, it's gold.
It's the top of the funnel going down saying, what can I get now? Because you over delivered at $0.
Yes.
Right. And so, no, that makes perfect sense. Okay. I like that. So everybody should have wrote down that you got to get 7 emails to them in the first 10 days. That she put out, and then 2 times a week, keeping yourself in it. Okay.
You can do, like, I do 3 podcasts a week now, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that is an example of an anchor event. However, something live is even better. So, and then I've got that down, and my TikTok's down, although I did take the last month. I had to go back. I had to drive to Iowa and finish getting rid of a townhome because I'm like here for good now in Florida, and come all the way back. So last month wasn't necessarily a good example, but consistently we do 3 podcasts a week, 1 or 2 live streams a week. I'm going to start doing YouTube. And so I'm kind of adding, and we're kind of testing and tracking and tweaking what is working now for us and our message. And because we're going to do a launch, I am launching 2 programs, but this year, but I have a lower tier program for $3,000, and it's a year-long program, and it's called Rich, Fit, and Happy. And so I'm going to be using a membership site, and I'm going to be doing a live class once a week for a whole year. And it is about investing. So basically money, health, and mindset. So I'm going to have experts, but also an actual program. So they apply some of these things to grow their investment portfolios, grow themselves in sales, mindset, and health and wellness. So I'm really excited about it. And it actually launches the first week of October, but we're going to be doing a pre-launch in the next
Very
couple weeks.
nice. So that'll be on your link tree, because that's where I went, was the link tree to
Yes,
the
yes.
Crystal O'Connor. So when you go to that, the first thing was the free course that was listed.
Is that where
and
it's
go
at?
through.
Okay,
Yeah. So I recommend everybody go to that one. So it's the Crystal O'Connor, but use Linktree, which is linktr.ee. But most people know that by now, because Linktree did a good job building themselves up.
And all they have to do, is on my TikTok, the Crystal O'Connor in TikTok. It's just a button that they click. They don't have to remember all that if they do that.
No, perfect. Okay, so we got the lead magnet, the lead pages. Now, are you still directing people to the consultation, right? Because we have the other one that was, so are you still doing that as part of the closing, or is there something that you're doing differently to say, just go buy the $3,000 package and we'll talk when we get there?
Okay, so for my launch, we're doing we haven't decided if we're going to do 5 or 9 day. And that is what we call a live launch, where we have something that I teach for either 5 or 9, depending on which we're going to do, probably 5 days. So for 5 days, we'll have a lead magnet page for it. They sign up, and then we'll encourage them to be there on live stream, because we're going to be giving bonuses away. And then we'll probably send them the recorded afterwards. So they get to watch it for 5 days. They learn a lot and maybe even apply some things. And then at the end of that, they get the opportunity to purchase and sign up. And there's going to be an event here in Naples.
So Debbie, I like that for you, because if you're doing your Find It show, then you can say whoever shares out the most gets a copy of your book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As far as the reward.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. I want to say, coach in front of your name is well suited for you, Crystal, because when I heard you say, like, Joe's got all the business stuff down, he's mentioned it, the emails every week, and then follow up the next week with the 2 each week after, and all of the lead and the anchor time. But what I want to say, what I get from you is, in the beginning, when you first started, and you admitted, which I love when people are honest, you didn't know what you were doing, but you said, I jumped in. I wrote that down. I just jumped in. I love that about you. And who doesn't want a coach who's ready to, hey, this is what I did. This is how I did it. And you've got that like determination and that fire in you to go for it. And it made me laugh when you talked about challenges, because I also get bored. I have to be doing something all the time. And then when things get too redundant, I get extremely bored. And I even do like my own challenges in my own head. If you could be in that, you may be the same way, but it's like a lot going on in there.
Yes.
Like I'll even set timers for myself.
Yes,
I'm going to get this amount of stuff done. I'm giving myself 15 minutes. And it's amazing how much you can get done in even 1 minute. Like I've timed myself, like, let's see how much I can actually do in 1 minute.
Right.
Like I play games with myself. And so anyway, I just enjoyed all of the little nuggets that you gave us, but additionally being able to find out your personality and who you are was really cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And one of the things that set a fire under me was what happened in 2008. I also had children in elementary school, and I, sadly enough, had a guy that I was working with. I worked with pretty much all men. I think there were only 2 of us women at the time selling commercial real estate at CBR, Richard Ellis. And one of our best, and he was such a good guy, committed suicide because of what was going on. He had put too much money in some investment properties and just a big mess. And so I remember that day thinking, this is so sad. He had 2 young boys. Not only is it sad, but like, I've got to do something different. And I wanted to I was newly divorced. Well, I had been divorced for 2 years at that point, but I was newly divorced, and I knew that the stress was mounting, and I wanted to spend more time with them. So when this fell into my lap, I thought, oh my God, not to mention with my with my TV advertising sales, working with small business owners, we were taking thousands and thousands of dollars a month from small business owners to get a 30-second ad, a 30-second commercial. So when I saw video and YouTube and the ability to put a video and have thousands of free eyeballs, like, I got to sell something. So, and I knew that I had something, and everybody has something to offer. And with my sales background, I thought it was going to be sales, but really, I mean, it is for the most part, but it's a whole system that I had to learn quickly so that I could help others implement it. And, that was my fire, me wanting to spend more time with my kids and me knowing that I needed to do something to create the life that I wanted. And it worked. So I did 6 figures in the first 9 months.
Oh my gosh, good for you.
I was so determined. And I think back, I'm living in a country club in Naples. I did not have a retirement plan. I just started doing what I felt like instinctually was my best bet. And it was. So I just recently did a podcast about investing in yourself and betting on yourself. There's so much talk about where to put money. And my daughter, gosh, she's only 20, but she's putting money in NFTs. I didn't even know what that was and so she's made some money, lost some money. And as I'm watching her play, it's kind of hard not to direct her. But one thing I tell her is that that you can bet on yourself. You are an investment. And the more you invest in yourself, you have more control over the outcome of that.
Oh, can I get an amen? Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's powerful. I mean, more so than people actually realize. Until you get it, until you know, you don't know.
It's true.
It's so true.
So I'm going to ask a very obvious question that needs to be asked. What's the name of the podcast?
Oh, the Crystal O Show.
Okay.
I like it.
Sure.
And by the way, so I changed, I still have a site at moxentrepreneur.com, but I do not send people there anymore. I'm sending them to, and I have a reason why. I know somebody that was sued by Entrepreneur Magazine. So they get really tricky. They get I don't want to go into the depth that she told me that they will go to when they do not like you using the word entrepreneur. So I thought, you know what, that's fine. I'll let it go. But yeah, for years I used Mox Entrepreneur, and now they're really cracking down on people that use entrepreneur.
Yeah, I pissed off Zuckerberg by buying the URL joesfacebook.com. That I could just tell people, go to Joe's Facebook. They go, are you on Facebook? I go to Joe's Facebook. And now it's like, oh, well, now I get a cease and desist. You can't do this.
So you did? You got one?
Oh, yeah, I got that. And
he's not. He's a regular in that. I mean, he's
right. I was going to say, trouble. Zuckerberg, watches everything I do. Yeah, I'm that popular. I'm kidding.
The genius.
So,
the genius is
the lawyers all love me. But now it's joesfb.com. And then I went to YouTube and did joesyt.com, right? So that way it's easier for everybody to find the stuff that's there. And Tyler, don't jump on a Zoom. Okay. I told everybody, I make it easy. I said, joeszoom.com puts you in the waiting room of my Zoom, right? And while I'm on a Zoom with somebody, Tyler went and typed it in and it popped up. Tyler's sitting in your waiting room. And I'm like, dude, you're on the same show with me. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I agree. Make it as easy. Like you have at the bottom, coachmecrystal.com. How easy is that to go get somebody to think about it? Because you've told them everything to do right now. Why would they go to coachmecrystal.com? Because you've already implanted the I'm coaching you. So it's already there and it's a given. So I love that. And again, that goes back to mindset and how it is you're setting yourself up.
And the Coach Me Crystal is just a calendar. So I don't, that's not the first thing that I'll mention. I'll want them to sign up on the lead magnet page, which is Absolutely. Like the rapidcashfusion.com. Right. So, so collect those emails, even though people say email is dead. No, it's not. It's a great way to convert them, because what you'll be doing is putting that little link to your calendar in there. But what people really like and will open more of is content, believe it or not. So if you put a video in there, if you put, watch this video and you send them a little message in a video, they'll most likely watch it.
Right.
And what I learned also, sometimes they'll watch like 30 times and you think, what? What's that all about? So yeah, human behavior is really interesting, isn't it? So, but that's what I learned, is that video killed the radio star. And it just continues to do so.
Boom. The 80s reference just came in. I like it.
Yeah. But what driving back and forth from Iowa to Florida, I won't be doing that as much now that I don't have a place there. But my daughters are there, so there's that. But I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I don't know if you do, Joe, but they're quite addictive. There's just really good content out there. Yeah. But people want to either watch you or hear you. And so remember that is when they'll start to connect the dots, whether they like you enough or not to give you their business.
Right. And it's a passive way for you to get through the like part of it, right? Like, listen, believe, and buy is what I say everybody has to go through. So they can get all the way up to believing you before you're actually real.
Yeah. And Tyler, I can see that you've got life insurance by your name. One of the best things, I can't believe how many people don't have life insurance and to leave for their family. And you'd think that it would be such a boring topic, but I could probably come up with 20 different podcast topics around life insurance. And I don't know if Tyler, if you have a podcast, but it'd be a really good one. And I've been seeing on TikTok every once in a while, I can't think of any particular name, but one will get in front of me and I'll be like, wow, I never thought of that. Just how to use whole life and what to do with it, how it's used as an investment, even though I've heard it's not supposed to be used as an investment. I don't understand it all exactly. I just know
it's a secret investment.
It's a secret investment. And, Tyler might not even want to say that on a TikTok. I don't know. But it's what the wealthy know that not everybody knows. So It's stuff like that is so valuable to people.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tyler, I would change life insurance, and you say Tyler Preston, protecting families. That's an end result of what life insurance is. And that would get people going, what do you mean you protect family? Because if I see the word life insurance, I automatically already know what you do. I've already checked off the box that, I have insurance. I don't need to talk to them. So
there's so much you said that resonated with me too. And even, I know we're wrapping up, but even the fact that you said, you had to say at one point, okay, I'm doing all this. Now I got to make an offer. How am I going to monetize this? Like, I can't just spend all my time doing this time, energy, and effort for free. Just the things that you say, while it may seem like, oh, I should have known that. It's like a Post-it note. Like, I wish I would have invented that. Like, how easy. I miss them when I don't have a Post-it note. But like what you're saying, they're little Post-it notes. Like, it's exciting.
Yeah. And the brain likes to know that somebody has a signature product or known for a signature product or program. Yeah. And some people don't really think about that. Like, oh, I'm supposed to have a product and name it and talk about it.
Yeah.
It can be that.
Right. Well, most people think I don't want to be salesy. And then they wonder why they don't have any sales.
Right.
True.
Right. But you know what? I don't even want to be salesy.
Yeah, I don't either. But again, it's just.
But they perceive it as being salesy by asking for the sale. Well, here's the great news. You don't really have to ask for the sale necessarily when your marketing is good and consistent.
Tyler, I told you that you got upset when she talked to you. That's why you dipped out of the.
Oh, he dipped out. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
See, she's not even paying attention.
That was convenient. That was convenient, Tyler.
Yeah, he does that for impact. That's there. But
Tom
Bostic said 11 out of every 10 people die. So what's your life insurance look like? So that would get everybody clicking.
Yeah.
But no. So Tyler, any questions that you want to direct towards Miss Crystal?
No,
because you took notes the whole way through. Yes.
Yeah, so I pretty much transcribed the whole thing, so I don't think I should have any questions. But I guess the only thing would be for your lead magnet, you would just drop the URL throughout your podcast and just tell them what it is.
Yeah, and you could put it in the show notes too, meaning underneath your podcast, you can put the link in there. So people can be on their iPhone, listen to you, scroll down and click on it and go to that page and sign up. So it's great that they give you that, option. So yeah, saying it in the audio, but also telling them, because here's the thing, when you're listening, like for instance, me driving, listening to a podcast, I hear that. I might remember it if it's easy to remember, but I might not because I'm on to the next podcast. I've got 5 more hours to go. I probably am not going to write it down, right? So them telling me to scroll down, I'll say, okay, I'll do that later and scroll down and click on it. So the easier you can make it, the better. Just repetitive with saying it in the podcast, but also telling them to scroll down and click on the link, and just them knowing that it's there will most likely get them to do it. So like, I have an elementary education degree, which is kind of funny because one of the things that I always remember being taught is, when you are directing a room full of 8-year-olds or even 5-year-olds, you have to be very specific. You're going to lay down your scissors and you're going to walk over here and then you're going to sit down. So this is how you have to talk to adults though, too. I mean, not that they're dumb, but we've got a lot going on. And if you can talk to them simple, not stupid, but simple, and keep it simple, you're going to get better results and they're going to actually do what you say. Like when you're done, scroll down, click on the link. I'd love to talk to you. Get on my calendar for this week. That's a simple request.
I won't remember that website.com.
You did?
Yeah. So simply for that reason, when I can say, somebody sit there and go, okay, we're going to ask you, you know what? You're not going to remember the website anyway. So just go to iwon'trememberthatwebsite.com. And then everybody's like, I can remember that because later on I go, why can't I remember this? Why can't? So it'll at least get a play into their head. So perfect. Crystal, thank you so much. I know we've gone over, but I think it's been extremely valuable. I'm going to go back and tell everybody, you better start putting in your anchor events. Yes. Okay, she's already got like 4 a week and kicking her butt, and that doesn't even include the TikTok she's doing every day. Okay, and then you want to get your lead magnet set up. Go to leadpages.net if you want to. I'll throw in that Canva also allows you to make those even on the it's $150 a year for the pro thing, and you can have up to 15 different pages, and you can cycle them out.
You can do a lead page in Canva?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Canva lets you build a real website, a link page, or whatever you want to do.
And Aweber now has lead pages. I've not used them, but my virtual assistant talks about it, and I say, play with it if you want, and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah. I'm just used to lead pages.
No, again, it's been something successful for you. Why? Because as Debbie will say, you jumped in to leadpages.net and learned it and got it set up, and now you don't have to think about it if you want to come up with something new. Now you can go, I want to do this, and your virtual assistant will jump in and make it for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I look at. But thank you so much, Ms. Crystal. Everybody go over to TikTok. You said it's the Crystal O'Connor on TikTok, right? Go there. I would go to her link tree, click on that first one, and get that first class for free to say you know her, right? And make sure you go, everything she says is great. And then you'll be able to go forward on that one. And you'll get to see the AWeber emails come in because I'm seeing those too. But perfect. Thank you, Ms. Crystal. I appreciate you. VIPs on the screen. Everybody watching replays, I thank you again. Anything else, final words, Crystal, to say here, everybody? Walk away and do this?
No, just go to my TikToks and tell me who you are and say that you watched me or heard me, and then I'll follow you as well.
Boom. Look at that. Growth for everybody. Fantastic. Everybody, thanks so much. Go out and sell something.